All right, folks, welcome. How will Obama be arrested? What steps will be taken? How does this go military? Stay tuned because this podcast will have it all. We're going to be talking about exact steps, how this is going to take place. Pam Bondi orders grand jury investigation into Obama's Russiagate. Now, you know, a lot of names are being implicated right now, and I'm going to get into this. I got Juan O Savin joining me today, folks, to talk about this, exactly what steps are going to be taken from here. How does this play out? We all want to know. You saw Judge Joe Brown on my show talking about that it needed to go through grand jury. Well, the grand jury, the same day that we have the show, boom, Pam Bondi orders grand jury investigation into Obama Russiagate. Same day. Man, I'm over the target, folks. We're doing good. Folks, hit that notification button. Like, follow, subscribe. Also hit Venmo, 𝗵𝗻𝗀𝗏1977, 𝗵𝗻𝗀𝗏1977. If you appreciate me, I appreciate you, baby. Yeah. Also, folks, when the lights go out on Amazon, and then my mama's book, The Mexican Mix, here. And, folks, get your Noble Gold. Noble Gold, here's the hard truth. Every 6 years, your dollar loses half its buying power. That $100,000 in savings today, well, it could look like, I don't know, $50,000 by the year 2031. But there's a way to protect and preserve your money, and that's gold. And that's exactly what I'm doing, folks. Noble Gold Investments makes it easy to own gold or silver. No pressure, no call centers, just honest one-on-one support. Open a qualified account today and get a free 10-ounce silver American flag bar. It's free. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com, noblegoldinvestments.com now, and get started, folks. Get started on it. Okay, X is Nino Boxer. My X account's growing. It's Nino Boxer. My Telegram is struggling. That's Nino's Corner on Telegram. I think it's got almost 100,000 people or 90,000 people on Telegram. It fluctuates, goes up and down. PatriotWear.com. Let me know what you want to see in my store. I got a Patriot Wear clothing line. PatriotWear.com. Go in there, check it out. I got some funny shit. It's pretty good stuff. And, folks, Ringside with Nino on ninoscorner.tv. Get over there. We war game twice a month with yours truly. And I get to disclose what I'm hearing through the grapevine. And that's that's twice a month we do this. The Black Sheep family gets together and joins. And we have a big... we have a pretty good network, to be honest with you. It's a big network of Black Sheep Patriots, and we all, give our opinions, whispers that we're hearing, questions, whatever. We all talk together, and we war game together. It's pretty awesome. And also, the General's tent is on ninoscorner.tv as well. And this month, it's 𝗀𝗃𝗁𝗃𝗃. 𝗀𝗃𝗁𝗃𝗃 will be the General in the General's tent, August 28th, 5 p.m., But as of right now, I'm going to have Juan O Savin on very soon. We're going to talk about the steps that it will take to get Obama in cuffs. When could this happen? Pretty soon, folks. The grand jury has arrived. So they will be investigating this. And without further ado, folks, you might want to turn it down or turn it up. Yeah, I'm going to do it again. I do it every show. It wakes everybody up. Coming at you live from the apocalypse, folks. Oh, yeah. Let's go. All right. So, just how will Obama be arrested? How is this going to take place? A lot of people are saying, oh, what happened? Nino. It will not happen. He's not going to get arrested. He has immunity. Oh, it's just going to tarnish his reputation a little bit, and that's it. And everyone's going to have a good and pleasant day. Not so. Think again. First of all, did you even think that ICE would be a thing in these mass deportations would actually happen? Yeah, you got caught with your foot in your mouth, didn't you? No one really thought it would happen, right? Trump's just a bunch of rhetoric. He might try to build a wall, but he's going to be just like all the others. Say something, do something else. Not happening, is it? Not happening at all. You see where all this is going, right, folks? I mean, you guys see this. It's headed that way. He's exactly doing what he promised to do, and I'm going to guarantee you we're going to see arrests. So what we're also seeing that I have a problem with is they're kind of catapulting Newsom right now, catapulting Newsom into the spotlight. I don't know, to become a super villain so he can run in 2028. But I'm going to say that I don't even think the Democratic Party will be around in 2028. Now, I'll ask Juan about that when he comes on. I mean, it is kind of like we're watching a scripted movie. It does seem that way, right? I mean, now we got this supervillain and Newsom, AOC, low IQ. I mean, they're all out there, and I think it's done on purpose because you got to keep them out there. You got to keep the boogeyman out there to remind people why you can't go that direction. Oh, there he is. There's old Newsom. Oh, man. So, honestly, folks, how many of you really thought that the mass deportations would happen? I'm sure a lot of you thought, well, maybe a little bit. No. Raids on Home Depot. The country's at a complete standstill. Hospitals are empty in Los Angeles because they're scared of being deported. We don't want to be deported. Open seats on airlines. Now when I fly on an airline, there's so many open seats. I can't believe it. I love it. It's beautiful. I can't believe there was that many in our country. I mean, I'm serious. Airports, go notice an airport now, folks. You're going to see there's not as many people at all. Raids at the Home Depot, military at the border. Most thought that would never, ever happen. And it's here, and it's happening. And, folks, I know because I'm on the border, and I went just the other day down to the border, and they stopped me immediately with machine guns and all. Couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, bravo. Thank you. Thank you for doing your job. But what is happening right now that will not last is an all-out civil war has literally broken out within our government as the grand jury storm builds. Texas Dems and Newsom unite against GOP. This is literally the Democrats. I'm going to say it right here. This is literally the Democrats' last stand until the entire party folds and blows away with the wind. Now, it's just a prediction. We'll see how Juan feels about that when I bring him on. But this is just the beginning of the hell firestorm being waged upon them. Just wait until the arrests begin. It's coming. I believe a new party will be birthed. I don't know, with someone with the likes of like maybe an RFK. I don't know, just saying. In other words, Trump and the White Hats, I believe, will ultimately control both parties. But of course, Juan will come on and say, no, he's not going to be king. He's not going to be a king, which I understand. But I think I think the Democrat Party is going to be something of a faded memory, at least of what we know of it now. And is anyone else noticing CNN? CNN is beginning to go right. Yep, they've had to start this little subtle right turn into conservatism because they're losing so badly. People like Howard Stern even is getting off the air. He's having to quit. He's losing $10 million a year, they say, allegedly. But as Trump goes to war with the Democrats, he is also going to war with the Federal Reserve. Wars on all fronts. Folks, this is America 1776 2.0. 2.0 has begun. Trump has demanded that the Federal Reserve Board wrest full control of central bank from Fed Chair Powell. The Fed defied Trump and didn't cut the interest rates. It's going to be interesting how this plays out. Wars on all fronts, folks. Getting desperate and hiding from justice. Now, let's just look at this for a second. Former special counsel Robert Mueller, who was subpoenaed yesterday, has been discovered in a memory care home. A memory care home, okay? Per RCI's. So this is what they're saying. Of course, he has dementia. So he's saying that he has dementia, and he's in a home care now. I don't know. To me, this looks like, I don't know. I don't really want to face justice. Oh, I can't remember my name. Hey, yo. That's what I think's going on. Hey, I don't remember nothing. You can't subpoena me. I got dementia. I've got the dementia. And let me tell you, folks, my mom has dementia, and it's a cruel disease. But So this person here says, well, we saw Mueller's dementia years ago when he was lost and doubling around and mumbling through the Russian collusion hoax testimony. I think this is, to me personally, I think this is an act. I think he just doesn't want to go to jail. That's what I think it is. These people are terrified. They're terrified, folks. DOJ launching grand jury investigation into Russiagate conspiracy allegations. Conspiracy allegations. Do you see how they write this stuff? DOJ investigation into Russiagate conspiracy allegations. Attorney General Pam Bondi directed her staff Monday to act on the criminal referral from Director of Intelligence or National Intelligence 𝗀𝗂𝗃 𝗵𝗶𝗀 related to the alleged conspiracy to tie President Donald Trump to Russia, and the Department of Justice is now opening a grand jury investigation into the matter. Now, remember, just a few days ago, we had Judge Joe Brown on talking about this, saying it has to go to the grand jury. Now, how does this play out from here? And I'm going to bring Juan on to talk about this, because now we're in it, folks. Now we are in it, and I believe, well, indictments may arise. The DOJ spokesperson declined to comment on the report of an investigation, but said Bondi has taken the referral from Gabbard very seriously. The spokesperson said Bondi believed there's a clear cause for deep concern and a need for next steps. The DOJ confirmed 2 weeks ago it received a criminal referral from Gabbard. The referral included a memorandum titled Intelligence Community Suppression of Intelligence, showing Russian and criminal actors did not impact the 2016 presidential election via cyber attacks on infrastructure, and asked that the DOJ open an investigation. No charges have been brought at this stage of the investigation against any potential defendants, but it's coming. Oh, yeah, it's coming. So now we're seeing also the Democrats go ballistic, and now they're trying to steal the narrative. So now there's a war for 2026 midterms. All this Russiagate stuff's happening, and now the 2026 midterms, there's a war for the narratives right now. So much so that Gavin Newsom claims Donald Trump is already trying to steal the 2026 midterms. He accuses Trump of colluding with Texas lawmakers to redraw maps that favor Republican control. Newsom warns that Trump's goal is to rig the system and stay in power, saying he's haunted by the thought of seeing Trump 2028 hats. I'm haunted in seeing Newsom 2028 hats, which I don't think they will be, but well, you never know. We'll talk to Juan about that in just a second. So California Democrats look to redraw House map to counter Texas GOP. Democrats in California moved this week to counter redistricting efforts by Texas Republicans with discussions of a new political map of their own, drawn to help Democrats win as many as 5 of the state's Republican U.S. House seats next year. That would functionally offset the 5 Democrat House seats that Republicans have targeted in Texas. The plan seems far-fetched a few weeks ago, but has been gaining momentum as a redistricting war that began in Texas threatens to spread across the country. California's Democratic members of Congress and state legislature has been briefed in recent days. State lawmakers are planning to vote on the proposal the week of August 18th, and Governor Gavin Newsom said he hopes to put a new map before voters in a special election in November 4th. If Republicans are going to play this game, California can fight and push back harder, said Representative. Nobody in California can stand this guy. Nobody. Nobody likes this guy. Nobody. I got to be honest, folks. I was very surprised to see him on my buddy Sean Ryan's show. Just going to say, but at least he gives everyone a platform. I wish someone like Newsom would come on my show. I don't know if you all saw the video, the video I premiered yesterday about Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel. I brought on a very clear and didn't hide the fact that he was a liberal at all. Brought him on, and James Robinson, and boy, he didn't like Trump too much, did he, at all? But I still brought him on, let him say what he had to say, give him the soapbox, and clear the air. It was very agonizing for me. But I hope some of you enjoyed it. It's not getting a lot of play because people see through this shit now. I do too. It really is a spiritual war at this point. The way I see this is not a culture war. They may say, the liberals like, oh, it's a culture war. This is just a culture war. No, it's not. This is purely spiritual, folks. It's purely spiritual. That's what this is at the core. So I'm going to bring on Juanito. Juanito. Can you hear me, El Juanito?
Hey, what's going on there, Nino?
Well, all right. Sorry. Thank you for getting through my spill for a second there. Man, let's talk about this. So what steps need to be taken now? I mean, obviously, they got the grand jury investigations going on. What happens from here? Everyone says all this is going to do. Even Judge Joe Brown said, well, it just might tarnish his reputation. That's about all. This is going to go much further than that, correct?
Well, there's congressional interviews for a number of the players related to Russia. His deposition or interview is scheduled for October 16th. There's other ones September and early October of all the key players. As I've said before to your audience for several years, I believe that gets picked up on a very particular date, 3 days before Halloween. And Hold
on, you said she gets picked up 3 days before Halloween.
Yeah, and it has to do with adrenalizing,
all right.
sacrifices. Yeah. So it goes the other way. So the reason I say that though is because that date would kind of fit that scenario. She's the last of the whole group. Remember, Russiagate really started precisely. All the other people were peripheral, so they're interviewing everybody up to the ringleader of that whole operation in 2016. And that kind of starts the rest of the process. We'll see, how that works out. But then we go to the next level, which is 2020. And that's where you really, and those people saying that be arrested or tried for any of this stuff are completely, total, absolutely 1,000,000,000% wrong. The only thing he's immune from being prosecuted on are acts that are within his presidential authorities while in office that fit within the scope of his lawful presidential activities, and interfering in the way he has in the ability of another administration to govern that's not allowed for. And so the crimes that were done outside of a very narrow scope of his responsibilities as president, that criminal activity, totally prosecutable, and he will be prosecuted.
So when do you see this playing out? How do you see this playing out? I mean, how does it switch to military?
Well, the crimes that were done, including interfering with an elected president, commander-in-chief of the United States at the nation-state level, those are crimes that are not prosecuted properly within a civilian or Article III court. So you have to go to a non-Article III court. They'll get the crimes in place. They'll get civilian court indictments. But at some point, the gravity of the crimes, they'll get picked up and moved into a non-Article III court or a military court. And it's just the process. Those that don't believe it'll happen, okay, well, we'll see where we're all at in a year. Those that think that nothing's going to happen here, let's re-talk about this.
So
I'm very comfortable
is there
that we're on the right side of history on this.
Is there a reason they pick up Hillary first? I mean, is it to stop the
I'm sorry, say again.
I said, will there be someone on my comments said the reason they would get Hillary first is to make sure that's, to quell or neutralize the civil unrest. But I'm going to say the civil unrest is going to happen anyway, right?
Yeah, you're going to have civil unrest, and civil unrest is not civil war. So all along, and even years ago, I got some criticism from somebody who's been pretty tight in a lot of these things over the last many years, who got very animated about the fact that I said this was about avoiding civil war in the course of these prosecutions. They've since had to tone it down because even the president and people around him have reiterated that the process here is about moving towards convictions while avoiding allowing the country to go to civil war or that circumstance. And the people that hate America that we're fighting here, they're hoping this whole thing comes off the rail. Remember,
That's their last hope, right?
yes, because they made a movie about how the country was going to civil war, potentially. And it's in some, wet dream of these globalists that America would come off the rails and fall into civil war and they can do whatever they want across the rest of the world. Not happening. In fact, America is, if you listen to the Sirens song of media, the media that's controlled, that's owned by these secret handshake groups. Yes, America's coming off the rails. We're totally unglued. We're not going to make it. The financial system's going to fall apart. Blah, 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 blah. This isn't about falling apart. This isn't a bankruptcy of America where all the assets are dissolved and the country goes away. This is about a reorganization of America. And in the reorganization, you get rid of non-performing assets like you would in a bankruptcy. You get rid of assets or things that are weighing everything else down, rules, procedures, personnel. You streamline things and you get back to being profitable and being on track. And that's exactly what Trump's doing. He's trimming all of it's not even excess fat. It's grotesque things that have been grafted into America to make us hideous. We're going to get back to fit, trim, beautiful, handsome, etc.
Let me ask you this. So it looks like the Democrat Party's in shambles right now, and there's the whole thing going on with, the redrawing of the election map. Redistricting standoff continues. Looks like they're putting Newsom into the spotlight. Are they hoping to catapult him into the spotlight so that he can run for 2028? Is that, or do you think that someone like Newsom will be arrested before then?
Well, there's things in the background going on that I think will short sheet the bed for these Democrats climbing in. And Newsom's in the sights. I mean, there's stuff that I can't really talk about right now, but I think is going to cause.
But he's going to try to look like a martyr. He's going to say, "Come and get me." He's taunting Trump, saying, "Come get me. I'm not scared." Could his worst nightmare come true? Could they come get Newsom?
Yeah, absolutely. And they can. They're puffing up. They're doing all sorts of things. That doesn't mean they're not in danger. They're just putting on their best game face in an unwinnable situation, and that's just the way it is. I think it's very obvious that this Justice Department and the attitude of the American people is not what it was 2, 3, 4 years ago, and we're on to the game. So at this point, it's just a matter of time before these cascading effects. You take out that core that did the Russia thing, and a lot of the key leadership within the Democratic Party being under the gun and in legal, crisis weakens the rest of the team. And it's just so obvious, and it will continue coming up on the 2026 election as these arrests continue. And the people are going to talk, and they are already talking.
Juan, if I got this right,
there's some stuff going on. Let me just say,
the initial arrest could happen this year.
There's some stuff coming. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. So the initial
There's
arrest.
stuff.
Sorry, there's a delay. Sorry, folks, there's a delay. But the initial arrests could come this year and then continue into 2026 to where the Democrat Party basically will be hanging by a thread, and then probably by 2028 not even exist. Correct?
Well, the arrests will be, a year out from 2026, and they'll continue to escalate. So the ability of these people to put on their game face is going to go away. Those arrests are going to be real. The disclosures are going to continue. And I don't believe the Democratic Party survives to 2028. And by the way, by his actions, neither does Elon Musk. That's why he's trying to develop a counterparty, an independent party. And
That's
there's
what I've
plenty
been
of
saying.
people. I had dinner with some folks.
Go ahead, Juan.
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
There's a delay.
Well,
I'm sorry, folks. There's a delay. Sorry.
Yeah, and I don't know. By the way, StreamYard doesn't work overseas as well as it does in the U.S. Zoom might be a better one for you. We had several calls yesterday with Zoom. They were perfect with Stream.
Juan,
Sorry about
let
that.
me get to the next. Let me get to the next topic. What do you see happening with the Epstein files with Trump's name on it, the whole thing? I mean, that's a lot of ammunition for the liberals right now, and that's what they're banking on. And do you see the arrogance of people like Gavin Newsom and other Democrats to just evaporate, just vaporize away as this gets more real and real and real as it goes along?
There's an aspect of this that I think is just about to break right now. One of the big four media groups in the world, that do televised media that everybody in this audience is subject to, has been profiting in a little side deal on a mechanism that allows for child distributed all over the world. And that is in legal filings, both in England, and then there is work being done in the U.S. side as well as other countries right now. And I don't want to say the name for the moment, but this is going to go after huge executive, C-suite people who were aware that all of their advertising and pricing models were based on the ability to distribute. I'm sorry, I had a call coming in. It's very, very serious. Imagine being one of the biggest media groups in the world, and the core of your profit centers is built around child.
Yeah.
Okay.
See that just I can't fall asleep on you, man. Damn. Yeah.
I'm trying to help your audience. There
I
you
know.
go. I mean, I can't talk about.
It's fluff.
This is something everybody here wants to talk about. We can't talk about it. Who controls the media? Fuck.
Yeah, I know. Let's take it to Nino's Corner.tv. Juanito, are you cool with that?
Well, hey, let's add one more thing, here. Can we talk about nuclear bombs and war and like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
The 80th anniversary of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Can we talk about that?
Yes.
80th anniversary, and we have Witkoff over in Russia right now trying to work a deal with Putin, and Putin is shining him on because over, are we going to have a nuclear war or not? Trump moved nuclear subs closer to Russia. Russia's, getting their nukes ready, polishing all the warheads, getting ready to blast them somewhere. We're on the brink of somebody deciding that it's gone too far. Putin's not backing off. Medvedev, who's really the bad cop in the Putin Russia situation. He's ready to freaking fire off missiles. He's got all the best, missile nose cone polishers out there, buffing them up, getting them ready to shine. I mean, this is so serious. People have no concept, but they also don't feel that there's anything they can do about it. Why did Trump make his 10 to 12 day showdown with Putin happen right here on the anniversaries of Nagasaki and Hiroshima? He's sending a message. Nobody's even getting it. Come on, man. They're serious.
Do you believe this is going to come down to a nuclear standoff? You think this is exactly where that's headed?
I've talked about this for a very long time, Nino. You know that. And I believe that's exactly where it's going. It's going to be just like the Cuban Missile Crisis. Well, I mean, that's the problem.
Doesn't it have to go that direction in order for us to switch control from SES to Cheyenne and NORAD?
And don't drop your guard. This could go wild directions, no matter how well people may have gamed something out. There's, bizarre things happen. We're in a very, very precarious moment. And there's other loose nukes out there. Somebody want to trigger something that can be blamed on something else, somebody else with a false flag. This is a hand of God moment. There's a lot in play. And both sides are amping it up with the bravado. Problem is the bravado, all the key people that can push the button, they'll be fine in their silo. You have millions and millions and millions, exposed in the field of play. So, and by the way, didn't take a nuclear bomb to kill 3 million people over in Ukraine, 1.5 million on both sides.
Right.
Didn't take a nuclear bomb to kill 3 million people over in Sudan. Didn't take a nuclear bomb to kill 10 million plus in the Congo or 1 million over in Rwanda. We are on the brink of some kind of global unrest. Now we're bringing it to a head. And that's important so that we're not just in perpetual, forever suspended, waiting for the zombies to attack.
Well, Juan, let me ask you
got to bring it to a head. But this is a very precarious moment. Go ahead.
Vladimir Putin has promised immediate ceasefire in Kiev if he gives up 4 regions and abandons NATO membership. Vladimir Putin has set conditions for an immediate end to the fighting. He is demanding the complete withdrawal of Ukrainian troops from the entire Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson, and Zaporizhzhia regions. I got to do it in the accent. And an official renunciation of NATO membership. So he's saying he'll do the ceasefire, but they got to deliver all those. Well, what's your thought? If they agree to these steps, Russia will declare a ceasefire literally the same minute, he says.
The deal is, Nino, this war in Ukraine gained nothing. 3 million dead and nothing's been gained. Putin wants back the areas that were being threatened by Ukraine and go away. But, that's all he's really asking for. Ukraine is the one that amped it up and wanted the war, and that was being backed by Western forces. There was a globalist, Eurocentric group that didn't want Russia in the future with oil and gas trade, energy, etc., into Europe. And so this war was for energy over who gets to own the customer base in Europe for the next 100 years. It's despicable. It's the dirtiest thing you can imagine over just a few dollars. 3 million dead, nothing gained, nothing proven on the land, etc. Ukraine, Nazi military can't accept that they didn't get anywhere. And Putin can't accept that NATO gets to move into Ukraine, or that they get their winnings with the Russian people who live in the Donbass, etc. So neither side really can back down. It's going to continue to amp up. It's probably going to get worse. The sanctions won't really hurt Russia that much. Even secondary sanctions into India and China probably won't hurt Russia that much. It's bringing the world to the brink of nuclear war, some kind of a nuclear exchange conflict. And the only question is, can we keep it at the brink of war and not actually let it go over that line? And here we are at the holiday or the anniversary that nobody wants to celebrate. It's not a beautiful, wonderful day. It's a day for solemn understanding. The world's been here with nuclear conflict before. What this would do is pick up where the world left off at Nagasaki and Hiroshima and take it to the next level. If allowed to continue forward.
So there's a lot of excitement ahead, folks. Let me ask you this, Juanito. Palantir gets a $10 billion contract from the U.S. Army. Could this, I have a theory that could it be that we arrest all these people in Congress, we arrest all these politicians, and we switch the government over to AI? Maybe not now, but later. Is that a possibility at all?
I think you have to remember one thing when you think about the arrests. If it wasn't for, and all of the scoundrels, these filthy monsters that aided and abetted both inside the United States and across the world, including right here in London, if it wasn't for their assistance and accommodation in the lie of the dossier, and that Trump was somehow in collusion with Putin, if it wasn't for all of that, there would be 3 million people alive right now in Ukraine and in Russia. There would be some kind of a different situation across the world. Probably wouldn't have had Sudan. Probably would have gotten to the Congo sooner than later and saved maybe 10 million people. But because of the 2016 election, where Trump wasn't able to govern because of all the interference and put his own people in play, the world has lost millions of lives. These people, it's not just a little game over who got to be in power and a few contracts and military contractors. These people sought to hijack the world, and they did. They hijacked the fate of the world. They stole 10 golden years from America, and that we could have gone in and brought the world to a more peaceful situation. And they need to pay.
So we're actually playing catch up right now. But we're at war, Juanito, and these are the casualties of war, of fifth generation warfare.
Yeah. This will be fought in a different way. It's we're
Juan, do you want to stick around a little bit? Do you want to stick around a little bit and answer some super chat questions real quick from the audience?
Sure.
All right,
and I know we have a poor connection. I apologize.
Yeah.
Nothing I can do. I have good bars. I think it's an artifact of StreamYard, by the way, because all of my stuff yesterday, we compared systems, and for some reason StreamYard just doesn't cut it as well as Zoom does or some of the other platforms. So it's it's what it is.
All right. So Denise.
Yeah, I'll answer some questions. Go ahead.
Dennis Rea. Thank you so much, Dennis. Thank you. All right, Kelly 𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗍. Thank you so much, Kelly. Very much. Thank you. Lucia Robertson. Thank you, Lucia. Dennis Rea. Thank you again. 𝗬𝗶𝗱𝗏0716. David, please ask Juan about what he thinks about Bono and Podesta, Chester Bennington's dad. That's a big conspiracy that's out there. Do you know anything about that, Juanito?
I've heard the rumblings, but I don't have any direct knowledge. So I'd just be commenting on the comments, and I'd rather stick with the stuff I know directly.
Okay. Juan, this is Anthony Hummer 1143. Juan, how do Commonwealth states like Pennsylvania fall into this mix of America Inc. and the Republic?
Probably too long of an answer for here, but when you get into the Commonwealth states, some of those discussions and understandings, you're getting into kind of minutia that that guys could take an hour or two to answer, and so I don't think I can answer that here. But it's actually a very good question.
Well, Juan, I got a question for you. What about SEC versus Ripple? SEC is just days away to respond to the XRP case. You're not a big fan of XRP, are you? Juan, can you hear me?
I apologize, Nino. You didn't come through clear enough. I didn't get the question.
I said, are you a big fan of XRP? I mean, there's a SEC versus Ripple. SEC has just days left to respond on an XRP case. You're not a big fan of XRP, correct? You're more of a fan of gold and silver, right?
Well, let me just say this. I think XRP is a good bet, and I think a lot of people already have made pretty good money. There's more to be made. I don't think it's going to do quite what some of the people are projecting because they're not understanding some of the other technologies that are in play. So it's got a window of opportunity that favors it, but I don't think that it's quite what people are foreseeing. The biggest thing with all the cryptos, Nino, is adoptability into financial transactions. And XRP can be huge if we're going to go that direction. There's pressure to do that, but it hasn't actually happened yet. It's not easy to just go in with your crypto wallet and pay as many people think, or to convert it to other cash for other purposes. And there's transactional fees in there that are going to have to be worked out. So even though they say it's worked out, it's not quite. I mean, I'm pretty good on this stuff, and it's not quite there yet. But we'll see. It is, as in any of the cryptos, for leverage, strong hand, it's very well positioned.
All right, Juanito, I'll get you on ninoscorner.tv right after this show. Will you be around right after the show?
Sure.
And Juan, what did you want to talk about with
By
Jennifer
the way,
Mack?
if you see, it's a beautiful day here. It's a beautiful day here in London. It's one of the perfect weather days. You get like 6 of them a year. And it's one of these just spectacular days. And if it wasn't that I had banking stuff that we had to do here, I'd be out on the river.
Juan, someone's asking, what's the significance of your ring?
Oh, I didn't get the question. They're asking what? Say again?
The significance of your ring. I just saw it come up. They want to know what your ring is.
It just has personal meaning to me. I don't really talk about it publicly, but
well, you told me, so I won't say nothing. You told me.
It was given to me after I did some work. Yeah.
All right, Juanito, I'll see you on.
There's no ritual.
Yeah.
There's no ritual, secret handshake, service, whatever meaning to it. That's bullshit, and it has personal meaning, and I've explained that to you personally, and it's very important to me. Yeah.
Juanito, so I'll see you on ninoscorner.tv. What about Jennifer Mack? What does she got going on her site?
Well, I've been talking about the parasite problem in the public, and in fact, we've been attacked in that zone, and more so than it's acknowledged publicly. So everybody really needs to look at, there's not just the one single silver bullet to take out parasites. You have to go after, there's different types. There's about 3,000 different types of parasites within a number of specific families of parasites. And so a lot of people think because they've taken certain drugs that they've taken on all the parasites. It's just not true. So you have to have a full spectrum kind of a response. And we've lost several of our Patriot hosts to parasitic loads over the last couple of years. And I don't want to say names because I think it's it would be a little bit, but I'm telling you, you have to, every person in this audience needs to begin to attack the parasitic loads in their body. And some of them are so embedded that it can take long months to weaken their attachments to get them out of your body. If you want to live, you have to attack the parasite loads in your body. You have to. You just have to. And if you want to live healthy, you want to live to ripe old age, you'll make it a priority. It's the way it is. Most of the disease problems that Americans are experiencing are related to parasites and blood disease, things like that. So they have to get more serious about this parasitic issue. Jennifer's addressed it in a lot of the ways. In fact, she's started her book on the whole parasitic thing, and because it's stunning what she's learned in this stuff, and so. But I'd encourage everybody in the audience to get serious as soon as.
So they can go to thejennifermack.com, correct, Juanito?
Yeah, she's got a package there of her book, Be Deliciously Healthy, and parasite protocols that she's developed and some things she's learned. And I think that's a good start.
You got it, Juanito. All right, Juan, I'll send you a link right after this show. Let's knock it out.
Hey, for sure. I love all you guys.
The delay's messing me up, man. The delay is so much of a delay. All right, Juan, yeah. I'll send you the link right after the show, and then let's get into detail. Love you, Juanito.
Yeah, that's why I say Nino. If I miss the first Nino, you catch the last one.
Thanks, Juanito. All right, folks, let's get to it. The Beautiful Ballroom and New Lincoln Ballroom. Trump relishes remaking the White House. One of Donald Trump's most visible and potentially enduring legacies as president could be the 90,000 square foot ballroom that he is planning to build, replacing the East Wing area traditionally used for the First Lady's offices. The project, set to begin in September, looms as the biggest transformation of the White House complex since Harry Truman's day. Perhaps fitting for the one-time New York real estate developer who branded buildings worldwide with his name. Trump has taken to remaking the White House in accord with the with his taste. It says tasteless. Wow, decor. You see, folks, that's why I read all this stuff, because the way they spin everything on Trump is like a negative. They can't say that, oh, this is a good thing. He's going to build this ballroom. He's going to add on to the White House. They got to say with his tasteless decor. Tasteless. It's just unbelievable. But I'm going to tell you right now, folks, it's very soon. All this stuff is coming to an end. Donald Trump makes bizarre arm gesture after saying he'll put nukes on White House roof. Donald Trump performed a very unusual gesture during a walkabout on the roof of the White House just after apparently claiming he wanted to install nuclear missiles up there. The next project he has announced is to track a huge ballroom on the side of the East Wing, designs of which closely resemble the ballroom in his Mar-a-Lago club in Florida. Today, he responded to questions about what he wanted to build next to, apparently shouting out missiles, nuclear missiles, folks. This is interesting stuff, man. I got to say, you know, I don't know. I understand why people get a little bit upset when I have Juan on, and there was obviously a delay, but I tried to make it work. But you got to understand, folks, there's AI that tracks videos, and certain words set off the alarm bells. And I try to watch those words. You can actually say anything like fuck, shit, things like that. But other words, FluffTube really cares about. And that's why I am so oversensitive with my channel. So if you rather me not bring Juan on anymore on YouTube, I won't do it. I just won't do it. Howard Stern's show to be canceled after nearly 20 years on SiriusXM as a $100 million contract is up later this year. See you later, Howard Stern. The iconic Howard Stern show on SiriusXM is set to be canceled after a stunning 20-year run with this guy. 20 years, folks. Sources exclusively told the U.S. Sun. Stern, who is 71, holy shit. Howard Stern is 71, who has had megabucks contracts for decades at the subscription satellite radio provider, will likely cut some sort of deal for Sirius to keep his catalog upon his visit. Stern's contract is up in the fall, and while Sirius is planning to make him an offer, they don't intend for him to take it. One insider said of the impending end to the shock jock's latest 5-year contract. So I have a theory on this. I think Howard Stern is just past his prime. He had his day. He had his era. I think that era was in the 90s. And now with Joe Rogan and podcasting, he can't keep up. He can't keep up. And all the new podcasters that are out there also, I don't know. People are kind of sick of the liberal shit, if you ask me. I think majority of people are. I think that's dying if it's not already dead, which I say the Democratic Party will be dead by 2028. You're going to see that I'm right, especially with this grand jury and all the stuff that's coming out, folks. All right, let's get to what the fuck news. In what the fuck news, naked man. That's how I get started. Naked man wearing only balaclava and plastic clogs and carrying sex toy on stick terrifies European tourists. Now, I saw something very similar to this in Austin, Texas. A naked man wearing nothing but a balaclava and plastic clogs and carrying a sex toy on a stick has been startling tourists while wandering around a historic castle in Slovakia. The unidentified intruder posed for a picture carrying his bizarre prop Monday near 𝗬𝗓𝗄𝗃 Castle, a popular hiking destination in the country. This is becoming more regular, folks, you know? I kind of feel like mental illness is like the new thing now. Everyone, that's like the new trend now. Who could be the weirdest? Who could be the most mentally ill? Like what? Folks, I'm not kidding. I was in Austin at the Lake Austin with my buddy John Eagleton, and we were staring off into the lake just talking. And it was night. It was about 9 o'clock at night, and we heard some yelling. And the next thing you know, there's a naked guy yelling at women. And it was right, I think it was around 8 o'clock at night. It was right after sunset. And this dude's just storming around the park, screaming, "I'm a grower, not a shower. I'm a grower, not a shower." And we were like, holy shit. Yeah, you're not kidding. Little itty bitty thing like this. Looked like a maggot. Anyway, he was running around the park yelling this shit. And then I said, all right, John, we got to do something, man. We got to do something. So we approached the guy. We told somebody to call 911 because he was actually, it looked like he was about to assault a lady with her baby on a stroller. So we got in his way. I thought I was going to have to throw blows with a naked man. I mean, that would have been a top for me. That would have been the cherry on the cake. But the police came, arrested him. Boy, he was putting up a fight. I think he was on something, man. Anyway, this guy, same kind of scenario. He had a balaclava, a stick, and a dildo stuck on the stick. Women were terrified of him, but he told us he was sorry, and they didn't want to scare them, so he asked for them for directions. He asked for directions because he thought that since it was Monday, he wouldn't meet out anybody outside because it was a Monday. Anyway, the male exhibitionist turned and seemed to be leaving before he suddenly began following the women. When I turned around, he turned and started following us. I was terribly scared. Inside, one of the tourists said, adding that that was when they asked him for a picture. So this guy actually stopped and started taking pictures with tourists. a naked man. So you're kind of rewarding mental illness here. I don't know, folks. Times have changed. Times have changed for me. And I got to say, this guy should have. Where were the men? Where were the men? Why weren't the men taking charge, knock this guy out, or jump on him? There he is. There's a nice picture of him just walking around naked with a dildo on a stick. Beautiful. I don't know. I got to say, it's got to be terrifying for women these days. That's all I'm going to say. It's got to be absolutely terrifying for women to go anywhere, do anything, because you run into people like this. You can't really do much. I would imagine being a woman is much like, I don't know, how I felt when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old. I always felt like something was going to happen. I was always scared of like strangers, things like that. But women have to be that way their whole life, their entire life. It's a scary place. And the way the world is today, I don't know. I thank God that I'm a man, a big man that can fight. That's all I can say. Because there's too many weirdos running around this world now. You got to watch every direction. Look left, look right. There's always a weirdo. Weirdos are everywhere. They're everywhere. Oh, man. Alex, you there?
Hey, Nino, I'm here.
Man, weirdos are everywhere.
They really are, man. They really are.
Dude, I get kicked in the nuts so much for having Juan on, man. I try, man. I try my best, but it is what it is. I mean, I feel like he has some valuable information. We just had Judge Joe Brown on, and I wanted someone to counteract that or go against what Judge Joe Brown, a different opinion.
Yeah, a foil to it. That gives it, another level of perspective. And yeah, I mean, if you don't love the interview, just change the channel, guys, or, watch, Juan, it might be different on other channels, but here we're just trying to keep it, you never know when some, YouTube's going to make an arbitrary decision. So it's just
right. It's not up to me. And this person says this and that. I'm like, it's not up to me.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It's not up to me. I can't even debate it. I can't even argue it.
Right.
You can appeal it, but you can't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
People don't understand that. So anyway, I appreciate all of you folks. I'll be on ninoscorner.tv right now with Juanito. All right, folks, I'm out of here. Thanks, Alex.
All right, peace, everybody. See you, Nino.
All right. And the new heavyweight champion of podcasting and the black sheep of